What's going on, my guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Garrett with Game by the Beach. Very excited to be here with you today because officially the new update is here. Update 6.0. You guys have seen so many things on it, and it's here. If you guys haven't gotten it yet, it should be available for everybody, and you just have to go to the App Store and download it or update it automatically or whatever, or manually, because it doesn't update automatically unless you have that setting. But let's check out today, because there's a lot of things. Let's check out today what kind of things are different. So already looking at this screen, you can see the factions. They've got a faction blessing, Forest Alliance. You can see that it's this, which it's whatever this is. It's increasing the attack speed of a bunch of different units. And a bunch of units, some that are legendary, 4 that are not legendary. Actually, yeah, it's a lot of legendaries that are increased. But factions, they're in the game. I haven't played with them at all yet, but they also changed some of the other things. Hero, they didn't have this hero tab before, but you can see Zeus is now available. The emojis are still the same. One thing I did mention, or notice, I should say, if you go to buy an Epic Heroes chest, it still doesn't say that you can get Zeus's out of it. So maybe they just didn't change the aesthetic, the screen that we're looking at right now, and you are able to get them from this chest. But this is the highest value chest for heroes, and it doesn't say that you can get Zeus. So that's a little curious. They also added in, I'm just going to try and go through a bunch of the things that they added in. They also added in how many people are online. So you can see at the top left here, online. You can say who's online and who was recently online. Says people have been asleep for an hour or whatever it might be. But let's go into the actual knowledge base. And just so you guys don't have to spend the time going through and reading everything, I'll go through and read everything just for you guys. So let's scroll down here because there's a lot. You saw the 14 notifications or whatever it is. We've got all the factions and then all the faction blessings. And I haven't read these. So you can see there's a little notification. I don't even know if when you read them, you get a little bit of gold. I think that's how it works for the most part. So we're going to go through each faction, what each faction blessing is, and hopefully we can go into this update with a little bit more knowledge and can take on the very end of the season, which, by the way, there's only 2 days, 1 day left for the season. I'm at like 6,300, 6,400. Doesn't sound like I'm going to make it up to 7K. But I am going to push today and push tomorrow, so I'll let you guys know where I do finish the season at. But let's jump into the knowledge base. And before I do so, if you guys are enjoying this video, make sure that you guys are subscribed and also check out those memberships. And lastly, make sure that you guys tune in because I stream every Friday, typically at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But that's enough of news, and let's jump into the first one. Forest Alliance, which is the one that we have currently. So the forest, once the great source of all life and wealth for the residents of Random, Random, I get, okay, became a noble kingdom for the many creatures that dwell there. Many warriors defend the forest, the best archers and hunters on the island, dryads and druids, cunning bandits, and scariest of all, environmental activists and singing princesses. Okay, so let's collect our gold. And that's what the Forest Alliance is. Very cool. Magic Council. So this is what they had in the leaked footage originally, was the Magic Council. So the Magic Council, or Council of Wizards, is the largest group of sorcerers of Random. The council comprised the wisest and most powerful mages from across the island, as well as the greatest connoisseurs of hat fashion. Nice. The Council of Wizards loves to throw wild sorcery parties, which have consequences for the whole island, especially with the conjured slugs appearing everywhere. Okay, very, very interesting. I'm assuming that the actual blessing descriptions are going to be talking about what it does, because I know it's attack speed for the one currently, but is it always just going to be attack speed for different wizards? Like, I guess these little excerpts here are just discussing who is being affected rather than how they're being affected. Let's keep on going. Kingdom of Light. The Kingdom of Light is one of the island's most ancient empires. It was founded by the Archpriestess, and Knights of the Order of Light. They are most typical example of warriors for everything good against everything bad. Says the Archmage of the Council of Wizards, the Order of the Inquisitors, which regularly meets in the throne room of Metagrad, is particularly disliked by the magical community. Okay, interesting. So now we're like, I feel like they're coming out with an entirely new world. Now they're pitting a couple things against each other. They're saying that the Kingdom of Light, so people who are like Inquisitors, are against the Magic Council, all the wizards. Very, very interesting. Continue on. Okay, so the Technologenic Society, I should say, is the most advanced faction on random. A brotherhood of gearheads. They love clever mechanisms and amazing potions, which can often be found in the local taverns. Though the kingdom does not practice destruction magic, the magical strike of a wrench on the head remains one of its most devastating spells. So I'm trying to think who, I mean, obviously engineers. But who else would even be a part of that? I have no clue. Maybe like, I don't know. I was thinking like Sentry, or I have no idea. Collect our 50 gold. 50 gold, it's really, really nothing. Last one, the Dark Domain. The Dark Domain once were an empty land full of mysteries and beguiling shady characters with mysterious pasts. The kingdom's name comes from the darkest terrors that reside in its depths, or it's just old-fashioned and lacks any kind of lighting. Take a lantern if you decide to visit. Pretty cool. I really do like how they're kind of expanding the world. I remember when they first had the descriptions of units and descriptions of whatever the heck else was going on. It was very simplistic, really open to interpretation, and there wasn't really a story behind it. So now they're coming out with like stories on how things work. But right there, those are the factions. So let's now try to figure out what the faction blessings are, and further understand the world of Rush Royale, as well as what each faction is, how it's going to work, and how it affects you. Okay, so first one, blessings of the week. Each week, units from one of the factions of random island received a random blessing. Faction blessings work in PvP and co-op modes. So that's an answer to a question I actually had when the first news of the update was coming out. How long would a faction last? Looks like it's 7 days. I did see that earlier. It's 6 days that we're sticking with the Dryad one. So pretty cool right there. It also said that the blessings, there was more. I thought it looked like there was more of an attack speed buff for PvP rather than co-op, but maybe I misinterpreted that. But that's good to know. So blessings change once a week. So with that thought process, it's possible that there will be slight meta changes each week also. So the current faction for this week helps out Dryad and Summoner and like some of these other units like that, but those attack speed for those ones shouldn't really matter. So it's like Poisoner, I think, but there, some other ones, Archer, but it could change the meta, change the best deck or the best decks, slightly every single week, which would be really, really cool, because I feel like everybody wants a meta change almost every week. And, keep it fresh, keep it spicy. Here we go. Continuing on. Cashback. Okay, merging units from the faction of the week gives you 50 mana in PvP and 25 mana in co-op based on the merge rank. Okay, so that's another faction. So when you merge those, you get extra mana. So, okay. I think there was another one that had something to do with mana. Cashback. Sounds cool. Critical Blessing. Okay. Increases crit chance for the current week's faction by 10% and 5% in co-op. Okay, so there it is right there that says the percentages are different between PvP and co-op. But it's really, really good to know that. So already it's not obviously just going to be critical damage, or it's not always going to be attack speed. There's another one for mana. So even if it's only affecting, it affects certain units, it's not just helping. So if we have the faction that we're using right now, or we have currently, but it was cash back, that means that every time we merge a Dryad and every time we merge a Summoner, we're also increasing our mana rather than if we have that one with attack speed, because that doesn't really matter. So there are like stronger combinations to where, support troops are increased with mana, or like, imagine if it's the Inquisitor faction and you're also doing the critical blessing or the attack speed, whatever it might be. So now, Inquisitor decks are going to come out firing. So really, really cool right there. Continuing on, Evolution. A random unit from the faction of the week goes up in rank by 1 every 60 seconds in PvP and 180 seconds in co-op. Holy smokes. That's actually a massive, massive change or development. I'm picturing the deck I'm running right now, Crystalmancer. Those games go for like 15 minutes because they just go forever. So if you're going for 15 minutes, every unit on your board is going to get leveled. I should have like a maxed out board of Crystalmancers, Frost, and things like that. That seems a little bit far-fetched. We'll have to keep our eye on Evolution because that seems crazy. But very, very cool. I like that a lot. I mean, hey, all these little things, there's so many new changes, all these different developments to the game. I absolutely love it. Let's continue on. Okay, so headhunting. Killing a boss increases the merge rank of a random unit from the faction. Okay. 3 units in PvP and 1 unit in co-op. Okay, let's collect that. Killing a boss increases the merge rank of random units. Okay, so that's a pretty cool thought process. All right, you kill a boss, you increase a merge rank. Pretty cool. And I'm just thinking, if these are all going to be a week long for these blessings, that's like a long time to have all of your units leveling up every 60 seconds, or every time you kill a boss, random units are getting leveled up. Like, that's a pretty, like, this is significant. These are all really significant. Okay. Multiplication. Okay. My favorite back in math class. No, definitely not my favorite. Well, increases all mana received by 10% in PvP and 5% in co-op for each unit from this faction. So really cool right there. More mana means you can do more things on your board, set your board up, possibly longer games, or make it shorter games if that's even more overpowered. Getting to the end here. Acceleration, so increases the attack speed of the faction's units by 10% in PvP and 5% in co-op. Is that the one we're at right now? I don't remember exactly. And then lastly, starting mana. So the faction receives additional mana at the beginning of the match. For each of its units, the amount of mana in PvP is 100 and 60 in co-op. I think that's pretty similar. Some of these are pretty similar to the game modes that you actually play in on War Day. So right there, you start with more mana, and then I think the other one that I'm thinking of, you kind of trail off. So right now we have... Oh, so we have the starting mana booster. Oh, I see. Okay, so yeah. We have the starting mana booster that we were just talking about. Forest Alliance. And you can see 100 mana for PvP and 60 mana for co-op. So it's going to be really, really interesting. And I think somebody's going to do it at some point to where we have to look at all the combinations, the strongest combinations between faction blessings and then the regular factions. What decks are going to be the best for this combination? And of course, that'll change every time balancing changes come out as well. But man, there is a lot of things going on here. So many different... Well, I really hope that some of these buffs... Like you can see here, we've got what Hunter, Poisoner, Rogue, and Archer are all getting buffs. I don't know if they're enough to have a buff to put them actually in the meta. Maybe Poisoner. I feel like Poisoner would be the strongest out of that grouping. Maybe Rogue can be decent, but all the rest of the... Oh, Wind Archer, and then the rest of them are all legendaries. But super, super interesting. Let me know what you guys think of all these different additions to the game, because they really are crazy. What decks do you think are going to be coming out to play? What cards are going to be benefiting from what type of faction blessing? There's just so many things. And one thing I definitely want to know is, has anybody gotten Zeus yet? Has anyone gotten Zeus? Can you get him from this chest, or do you have to wait for the mirror match, which is right here? I know we already looked through these rules already in one of my past videos, so if you want to check that out, you definitely can. But mirror match starts in 6 days, so that sounds like it'll be the beginning of next week, and certainly after the season ends. But that's going to be the end of this YouTube video, guys. I mean, this was just like an informational video. I'm super excited to see how this is going to pan out, and especially because it's a new season coming out in just a few days. And we're going to be able to play with just random decks, random cards, and I'm going to try my absolute best to use these faction blessings in the new decks for the new season and try and figure it out. Because at the end of this season, I don't think I have time to try and figure it out and lose a bunch of trophies and then come back. But that's going to be the end of this YouTube video, guys. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will check you guys out in tomorrow's video.